Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lehman. So today I made a video yesterday and I made a big promise to you guys that I will show you how I do my doll body repaint. And I have already started on this girl, and I'm going to show you what she looks like without her head. This is what this doll comes looking like. So it's just a simple neck peg, and I absolutely love this idea. This is basically what she looks like without her head on. So she does have this peg. Now this peg, it looks like it only comes with this type of doll, or maybe as well as all the higher articulation, which means that she is designed to have her head switched out. So, and I'm going to show you what she's going to look like, her body paint color, what it's going to look like in the end. And this is what she's going to look like at the end of all this. Now, as you can see, her head is very blue, and that's what I want. And she's a navy blue. She's kind of mixed with a light and blue. This is what her inside of her head looks like. So, yes, her eyes are gone. So, this is what this girl... So, you will have to cut the head off if you want to remove the eyes. So, you can change the eyes out in this doll. Once you're done, it has that little stuff back there, like plastic pole on top, to keep it from the eyes from falling out. Just cut it, carve it out, and it's like the little round eyes for the dolls. And this is what she's going to look like when she's done. Now, that's just the blue one. That's just her thing. So, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to teach you guys how to do this. Now, when it comes to this, unfortunately, I live in an apartment complex. They will not allow you to use spray paint in here, because if you get on the walls, they will charge you to repaint these walls, and I don't have money like that. So, basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to paint these guys using regular old acrylic paint. Now, I'm going to go through a couple of different rules about doing this. Rule number one, when you're painting, make sure your doll is clean, and which she pretty much is. Number two, when you're painting your doll, make sure you paint her in small batches. Like if I'm doing the upper, right now I'm about to do the upper torso of her. I will only do the front. And when it comes to the joints, I will just probably paint them, but I will blush them as well. So that'll keep the joints from peeling so much. And make sure you have your varnish. Right now, I don't know where mine is. I'll find it later. And if you're mixing paints to do your doll, make sure you mix a large batch of it. Like I mixed it in this old bottle here, and I have like two different colors I'm placing on her skin. One color is dark, one color is light. So I always start with my dark color, which will always be, which I ended up starting with navy blue. And guys, the one thing you need to remember always, no matter what you're doing when it comes to paint, please be careful. If you're a child and you want to do this, please get your parents' permission first, because I don't think painting over a $20 doll is something your parents are going to be happy that you did. Now, when I first do it, I always make sure that I have plenty of paint. And when I paint, I have one rule. I always paint in thin, small, very thin layers. And then when you're painting, always go in one direction. Never go in 2 or 3 directions. I'll start off by painting her in a light, just a film. And make sure no pooling. 100% no pooling to your doll. See? I make sure that I keep the pooling away from her. If I could do this in time-lapse, guys, I would, but I don't have a time-lapse camera. I always make sure that I go in one direction. I try to follow the contours of the body, and I only do one side at a time. I never do 3 or 4 sides, and you can get the joints as well, but make sure, like I said, make sure you stick with going in one direction. And the first coat of this paint, it's not even coverage, because even I know this is not going to cover this. And make sure you get underneath the bust. And like I said, make sure you stay in one direction. Because as you go through the painting process, you'll eventually get to the point where you'll make all the strokes to your paintbrush just disappear. I try to do long, even strokes. No serious strokes or anything like that right now. Right now I'm just evening out the paint. I make sure the paint stays. And when it comes to this girl, she pretty much will hold the paint. Now, once you're done painting this girl, the first layer, let her dry for a whole hour. Do not go messing with her like 20 minutes in after you're done. No. I vote you let her dry for an entire hour. Because when she dries for that whole hour, you know you're guaranteed to get a paint that does not run again. Because the moment you put wet paint on paint that's still wet on a body, yeah, it'll peel. So this is what your body's going to start looking like. Now, like I said, I'm trying to do just the upper half of her body. And I always do the front half first. Make sure you raise those arms. Make sure you get underneath her arms. And I continue to paint her and just try to get the front half of her body. I leave the legs alone for now. Try to get in every single groove. Because right now, this is just an initial coat. And once you're done, you will see an amazing result. So basically, what I ended up doing is right now, I'm just trying to get anywhere that I can. I'm not trying to be perfect with it. That first coat, you don't have to be perfect with her. That second coat is just basically giving you extra coverage. And make sure, especially where the raised areas, where the sculpting is of the doll, make sure you get all of the pooling paint out of there. You do not want that paint to pool. Stay in one direction. Because once you start putting this paint on her, notice you can't take it off. I mean, you can erase it for a few minutes, but you cannot take it off. But as you can see, I try to do thin layer. Thin layers work better than thick layers. Thick layers will be hard to deal with. Thin layers are much better. So basically, and when you do her, yes, you even get the neck. It's most likely going to rub off in the end, but yes, you get the neck area. But I'm not really worrying about it rubbing off right now, because in the beginning, it's just an initial paint. And make sure you do not allow it to pool. No pooling on this doll. It must not pool. There must not be any pools. And try to get as much of the doll that is exposed as you can. Don't worry about the joints right now. You will basically bend and stretch those joints to show what they're in. But this is basically how you do it. When it comes to the arms and the joint areas, like I said, just wait until the end. Because you can most likely blush them with a blue to hide the bad fact that the paint will peel off them. But yes, this is how you do your doll if you want to repaint her and change her color. Some people, but it's the same way with spray paint. If you spray paint this girl, you need to lay her down, spray paint her, and then let that first layer dry. Flip her over, get the back, let that layer dry, and then flip her back over. Now, if you're wondering about the sealant, I suggest you paint her first, then you worry about the sealant afterwards. But basically, as you can see, her body is starting to come out like it's supposed to. And I absolutely love it. And I cannot wait to put the other thing. But like I said, I'm just trying to get just the first. It's not even a layer. It's just the first part of this doll done. Because she will have different colors come into her in a couple of hours. Now, like I said, every hour. And guys, if you're doing something like this, The key when you're doing this is to basically take your doll and turn on a movie and watch a movie. You don't have to see the movie to understand it. If you've seen this movie like 100 times, then you know what it's going to say. So you really don't have to watch. But I try my best not to touch the paint. And when I let her dry, I'll lay her down somewhere. Maybe around on a flat surface and allow her to dry. Some people like to hang from her neck peg. Yeah. So allow her to dry and do what you gotta do. And once she's dried, as you go through, as you can see, the paint is still a little wet. I will leave this alone for now. And I will come back and I will start painting her more. And as she goes through her transformation, this is what will happen to her. Now, this is just my first coat. And like I said, if you're going to make these dolls, if you're going to paint them, start with that first coat and make it very opaque. Basically, you want to be able to see the skin through it. As you add your layers, all the pink will disappear. You saw what happened to the head. The head ended up with about 5 coats, I think. Yeah, about 5 coats. It was 1 coat of the dark color, and then I added a light color on top. And here's the thing, you can blush her while you're doing this. But you have to make sure that the paint is dry. That is the biggest key of them all. Make that first coat, let that first coat completely dry. If you don't feel like waiting, you can use a blow dryer, but I wouldn't advise it. I let this thing dry by itself, because that way it will adhere to the plastic. And basically that's what you want. As you go through the painting process, you will literally see this doll change from what you started out with to what you want. Now, those are a few tricks that you need to know. Trick number 1, always make sure your doll is clean. Trick number 2, paint in layers, thin layers. Thick layers will only make it a mess. If you do thin layers like these, I promise you, your paint will come out just as smooth as this one. It will come out just like this. So this is your result. And when you're doing the head cap, do everything. You don't have to worry about the inside of the head, but still. She's already been sprayed with sealant, and she's about to get her face up today. I'll probably end up doing her face up before I finish her body. But the thing about it is, if you know the head is done and you're doing the face up, you can paint the body and allow the body to dry while you're working on the face up. So guys, this is a great little project, and my Luna is coming out beautiful. And yeah, she's going to be blue. I can't help it. I just love the dark colors. I will be buying more, and I will be bringing you guys more. And when I'm done with her, I promise you guys, I will show you what she looked like in the end. Until then, guys, I'm going to say peace out, love you, and I'll see you in the next video.